Good morning, sir. I am Deepthi from Curious Times, and I welcome you on the Ed Leaders. And I want to thank you for participating in the Teachers' Day program of Curious Times. And we can, now through this process of a Zoom call, we can actually talk about more about your school, about your personal journey, and all the challenges that you see ahead as you know the pandemic settles down and children start coming back to school. So welcome to Curious Times special edition.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for inviting me or considering me a worthy for your Curious Times magazine. First of all, let me congratulate you for starting this much, innovative adventure in the field of education. And basically, if I tell about myself, my name is Milind Kaluskar. Basically, I am Maharashtrian, but I am born and brought up in Saurashtra, that is Junagadh. Junagadh is a historical place. I passed 30 years over there. And thereafter, I took my journey in the field of education after getting a B.Ed degree and all that. So when I started the journey, it was started as a simple primary teacher teaching English in class 6, 7, 8. English has always been my favorite subject because my father and my uncle, they both were teaching the same subject in the university colleges. So that genetically blessed education is there in my blood. And that has kept me motivated for moving ahead in the field of education. So that mediocre journey had started, and today it has reached to a great tree, which is spreading shade for all the children who come under it. That's how I started my journey as a TGT. And then since last 7 to 8 years, I'm working as a principal. My last assignment as TGT was with DPS at Rajkot as a TGT English. And thereafter, I got promotion in their own unit in Morbi. Now coming to Morbi, Morbi is a very small town. Earlier, it was a part of Rajkot district. But now, since last 3-4 years, it is separated from Rajkot and it has got the identity as a independent district. And this area is famous in entire Asia as ceramic hub. The tiles, the sanitary wares which we see in our home, they are all manufactured at Morbi. So it's a very rich town with limited infrastructure. Right.
Okay.
So far as academic, yes, tell me, ma'am.
So I'm just, like you told me about Morbi, then how old is your school? And, what is, when you came here, what are the challenges that you faced? How do you kind of, navigated and brought this whole infrastructure together? And now how many students are there? How many teachers? Where do they come from?
Correct. Ma'am, my journey as a principal has started with the challenges only. This is my second school as a principal. And the earlier school, it was also on oxygen in terms of its existence. There were only 70 students in that school. Okay. And when I left that school, we were having around 232 students. That's what you can understand what kind of efforts I had put to bring the school to the reasonably upper level.
Right.
Now, after that, the similar kind of thing happened over here. Right. When I joined, this school started in the year 2018. And when it started in 2018, it started with 65 students enrollment. But somehow, whatever be the reason, I don't know, the other principal was working there and he could not manage the show properly. And because of that, the enrollment reduced to 58. And from 58 took it over in the year 2018-19. That is 1920, I started. When I started 2019, The first parents meeting that I attended, it was a horrible parents meeting for me. I had never attended such an aggressive parents meeting in my life that far, so far. And the only thing that I could do was to receive all the shouts from the parents and then handle those shouts with calm and composed mind. I only requested parents for 3 months time that I can only receive your queries, but for resolution of that queries, I will require at least 3 months. Somehow they all agreed, but with condition that if we do not find any difference in 3 months, we'll definitely shift somewhere else. Now that was all tension building for me. If it is 58 enrollment and 5-10 more goes, it will be below 50. How to survive? It is survival not only for me, but survival for entire team of teachers. So somehow, with the efforts of my teachers, the combined efforts and dedication, the dedication that we put to bring the school up, and we did the 2019 year very nicely. Those who were shouting initially, they came in the office and tell that, sir, thank you very much. You had promised that you will bring transformation in 3 months, but we could see the transformation in just 2 months. So thank you for that. So I just told them that this is the beginning of transformation and it will be continued. That way we settled, but that was not the end. Then in March 2020 came pandemic. And when we were on the verge of yielding the fruits of our efforts, it went down because of the entire nationwide lockdown. So the enrollment, which was expected to be around 100, it reduced to 78. And after that, after the lockdown, the migration took place and it reached to 64. So that was another challenge, but we did not put our efforts down. Even the pandemic was there, our school was running right from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock routinely, including all the activities online. There were challenges. We have teachers who are senior most, they have never operated computers and all that, but still we provided them the training, we provided them the backhand support. Initially, there were problems with Zoom also. In the newspaper, the Zoom against the Zoom propaganda was there. We all familiar with that. Yeah. So parents were very much aggressive. And in Morbi, we do face a little extra aggression from parents, little extra. There were challenges for the recovery of fees and all that. But one focused attention on the betterment of students, it has paid all the remunerations. It has paid all the remunerations. That is why whenever I talk to my teachers, I always say that if you love your profession, then only you work. Otherwise, if you don't like your work, there is no point in spending time with the students. Because when we spend time with the students without any productivity, then we are spoiling their further time. We are spoiling their career. So if we are not able to do anything good to the children, at least we should not do anything wrong with the children. If you are not able to guide them, we should not misguide them. Second thing, whenever parents come for the enrollment, we promise only one thing. It is our moral duty to provide you proper remuneration of your spendings. And that remuneration is in the development of your child. If that development does not take place, we have no right to sit on this chair. And ma'am, to be very frank with you, we maintain a mirror-like image with the parents. Totally transparent image. And we have remained so active during this pandemic that all the schools in Morbi, all these parents in the Morbi, they say that during entire lockdown, DWPS Morbi has remained the only active school. During this pandemic only, we earned Fit India certification. by doing online activities. 2 times our school featured on regional channel of Doordarshan. So whatever we did, everything was did on the floor. Nothing was did inside the chamber. Everything was done on the floor. And it has helped us to do what we are doing today. Right now, in Morbi, other than DWPS Morbi, there is only one school that grew in the year 2020-21. And ours is the second only school. There are no other schools who grew in terms of enrollment. Because many of the parents, they have shifted to government schools. Pre-pandemic, there was enrollment in the government schools to the tune of 150 to 200 students. But since last 2 years, it has been 1,000 plus. Despite this, we increased our strength to double. Right now, we are at 120 students.
Okay. And how many?
Yeah, and so, ma'am, we are having up to class 12.
Okay. And you are able to get staff locally, or staff has to travel, or?
No, we have staff settled locally. They are basically from Haryana, Delhi, Mumbai, Uttarakhand, but they all have settled here in Morbi, and they come from the town in school bus.
Okay. And do you have a residential facility?
No, we don't have a residential school.
Okay. So, sir, help me understand, one of the questions, and these are the questions we are also talking to with some of the other schools which are outside of India, just to learn, basically what best practices. So there is going to be a learning deficit that is going to happen because of syllabus being reduced, because of students being out of practice in terms of writing and reading. Online classes would not be able to sort of give them as much of a math practice as they did, or writing practice as they had, or for very small children who were 4 or 5 years old and they were doing online classes, they will not have a similar kind of practice on certain things. So what do you think the schools will need to do, or maybe if that requires an intervention by government or other authorities, that would be required to actually bring the children up to speed to the kind of expectation one has from a 10-year-old or 12-year-old, because we're seeing the syllabus being cut. We're also seeing students actually not being able to do as much reading, writing as one would have imagined.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. The pandemic, it has shifted the teaching pattern from offline to online. And because of that, there are a lot many issues that came on part of students. There are a lot many issues that came on part of teachers also. I don't deny that fact. And there is no harm in accepting that reality also. Lockdown means everything is stagnant. And any type of stagnancy, any kind of stagnancy, it brings laziness. So laziness has started creeping gradually in everybody. So far as these students are concerned, definitely it has increased the deficiency in the skills of reading, writing, and even speaking, even general speaking ability. When we talk with someone, we follow certain etiquettes. That etiquettes are also started missing. And that is why I have never been in favor of this lockdown. That too, in the country like India, where majority of the parents, I don't focus on specific class of the parents, but majority of the parents, they rely more on school authorities in terms of their child's learning. If the child is not able to learn properly, they complain to the schools. That is very natural. But certain actions are required on parts of parents also in terms of their child attending the class properly, keeping the camera on, and parents watch, because students are not able, parents, teachers are not able to watch parents properly, watch child properly. It is parents' duty to work, keep a watch on their child. But many a times we have noticed that this has happened, that parents keep the, child keep the video off and he does something else. That is fine, because the distance is there, this kind of evil is likely to happen. Now, so far as this reducing ability of reading, writing, and all this concern, it is going to increase the work on part of schools. Government will frame the policy, but who is going to work out? Even if the government has not framed any policy for repairing this, we have already promised our parents that if your child comes to takes enrollment in our school, 1 month we will utilize to cover up the things that are missed in the previous class. That is what we did. And we do conduct some online reading classes for the students. But not all the students take actively part in this. So there the limitation comes. And CBSE, it has already introduced multiple choice questions assessment, which is going to be a bit harmful for the better future of the child, because that reduces the expression skill. So I'm not in favor of that assessment pattern which is designed today.
Right. So, but that MCQ is just a part or a temporary part of it, right? It's not going to be a permanent sort of feature.
Agreed.
I mean, a part of it will be permanent, but there will still be, like, subjective answers. I just put my charger, so I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so MCQs, I'm saying, will be a part of just a smaller part of the thing, but there would still be subjective questions that will be there for the students. MCQ is like a short sort of, is one a short-term thing. Second, it will still continue, but it will not become a very large part of the overall content. And there will be questions which are subjective and less. There will be questions which are subjective, and there are portions which will be tested on every.
The questions are. My voice is fading.
Hello,
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. What I'm telling is that I see a question paper of term 1, class 10. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah. Ma'am, these conversations have reduced this syllabus, it has reduced. It is going to miss out some learning part.
Right.
On one hand, CBSE is talking about class 9-10 is an integrated course. Class 11-12 is also integrated course.
Right.
If the course is integrated, that means whatever is reduced in class 9, the same will continue in class 10 also,
Right.
according to this interpretation. Now, if this happens, so what will happen in class 11 and 12?
Right.
Because when students are in class 9 and 10, agreed, they're in class 9, 10, but actually it is a preparation for class 11, 12, preparation of basics.
Right.
If because certain topics are asked in advanced manner in class 11 and 12.
Right.
So if they are not through, with this class 9 and 10 entire syllabus, what will be their fate in 11 and 12? Isn't it an moral injustice to them?
Right.
So, in my view, ma'am, syllabus reduction should not be taken by CBSE. That decision should not have been taken. One point, but we are not there to guide CBSE. We are there to follow CBSE, and that's what we are doing. But
Right.
at our school level, what we are doing, we are teaching them the entire syllabus so that they are not missed out. This is a repairing process done by ourselves, corrective measures.
Right.
And so that's what we are trying to adjust with the situation. This is also a challenge, and that we are facing it.
Right. Understand. And sir, some thoughts or some of your thoughts on the new education policy 2020, how you plan to build that into your setup, and what are the tools and resources, or what is the help that you're looking for from various authorities, or your own society as well as government, CBSE? What is that you're looking for in order for you to go fully implement NEP?
Ma'am, we are already prepared for implementation of new education policy, because sooner or later it is going to get into our pockets, and that is for sure.
Right.
The challenges for the implementation of this new education policy is that the basic problem is of infrastructural facility, khas karke the internet connectivity.
Right.
Because new education policy focuses more on artificial intelligence and the other related matters. Artificial intelligence means you have to have the connectivity issues resolved.
Right.
But right now only we experience the connectivity issues.
Right.
And if these issues continue for a longer duration of time, how to cope up with the situation? One point. Second point is that from our end, we have already started coding classes for our students on trial basis. And we have already set up an infrastructure for that. But most of the CBSE schools are located in remote areas. And these are the remote areas which face the maximum connectivity issues.
Right.
So government should consider that unless and until the connectivity issues are resolved, they should not straight away force the schools or CBSE to implement the policy.
Right, totally. So, sir, I think those are the questions that we had from our side. And we did receive your messages for the students and for your faculty in terms of how to anchor themselves and, grow as professionals at the same time, how students have to grow. And I think I want to close it on that note that you took so much time, and I apologize for the connectivity issue that happened in between. But you took
No, it's not your personal issue.
Yeah, I understand, but yeah, sometimes it just happens. But yes, I want to thank you for taking out your time, and we look forward to staying in touch with you and your school, and continuously engaging with your school, at a deeper level. And I really congratulate you. You've done a tremendous job with all the limited resources at your end. And many congratulations to you and to your school.
Ma'am, thank you very much. And so far as you're congratulating me, it's not me who requires, it's all our team effort. Yes. I always believe in team effort.
Right.
And ma'am, it is the challenges that help us to grow. That's
Yeah.
what I understand.
Right. Totally, sir. So thank you so much. We will stay in touch with you, and
Thanks, ma'am.
yeah, I'll just sort of wrap this up, and we'll stay connected. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, ma'am. Have a